Hi, welcome to the Dog Dave Show. Thank you so much for joining us today, and we are reaching you from the beautiful city of Brisbane here in Australia. I'm so excited that we are now going to talk about an interesting topic which affects everybody. We are talking about marriage issues, or should we say relationship issues. We know that every relationship has got issues, no doubt. They could be big, they could be small. So today we are going to talk about this with Phil Surtees. He is agreed to come to the show, and let's welcome Phil to the show. Phil, thank you so much for coming to us.
Thank you.
I appreciate that. Yeah, so it's a big topic.
It is, yeah,
Marriage
without
or relationship issue, whatever you say it, it's a big issue. And every relationship has got issues. Thank God if yours doesn't have issues, but we thank God for that. Now you are a counselor. You've been dealing with this for years now.
Yes.
Now, could you just tell us a bit about your background and how you came into counseling or therapy?
Yes, thank you, Dave. Yeah, I've come to things from a very different approach. I started out as a chemist, engineer in the UK, and over to here in Australia as the CIO of a water company up in Gladstone. Have done project management and worked with Dugan desalination and the 2011 floods. And after the floods in 2011, I decided to make a change in my life. And from then have been, for the last 10 years, have been a therapist of one form or another.
Right. What made you decide career change?
Okay, so one of the things that I've always been interested in and enjoyed is helping people, full stop. I love to help people. Teams are my thing. Helping people is my thing. And back in the early 90s, I did a fair amount of work in the new science of neuroscience, and used that new education, if you like, to help me in my management and help me in teaching with people. And so when I made a change, I wanted to help people. I wanted to be able to use the abilities of the understanding of the brain and the brain that can be changed, and that people aren't fixed, and to be able to help them to improve their lives. Right. And so from a therapeutic point of view, I enjoy helping people in a practical way and being able to educate and use the tools that you would use in the corporate world into the couples and individuals.
This is very interesting, because you were also a CEO of some company, so you got a business background.
That's right.
That's a big jump. And I like the way you're integrating this scientific neuroscience,
yes,
and then the business concepts.
Yes.
And then you mash out to formulate counseling or therapeutic principles, for instance. How you net it together. It's very interesting.
Yeah. And look, and there is I don't see there being an enormous difference, and that's possibly the way I do things, is that your biggest asset in any company, in any life, is your people. And if you get the balance in your people and you get the people working together, you get the relationships working, then everything works. And it's the same in a couple's relationship, is if you can get that education, to get that understanding, if you can get the understanding of the other person, and to truly listen to the other person in a couple, then you've got a much better chance of understanding. And if you understand their beliefs and their view of the world, not your view of the world, but their view of the world, everyone has a unique view of the world because of their education, because of the way, because of who they are, because of their nationality, because of everything. Even two twins would have completely unique personalities, unique views on everything. And therefore, in a couple, you've got that coming into it. And if you don't take the time to listen to your partner, how can you ever understand and how can you move forward?
Okay, so bringing in the concepts of understanding each other. If we break down, let's say the categories into, let's say, the young couples, let's say the under 30s. Tell us more. What appears to be the common problems in this group, the younger group? For instance, they are married, they're in a relationship, they've got children, they've got careers to chase up, they've got lots of things in front of them, and now they hit a rock, and they come to you. What appears to be common scenarios here?
I think that there are common problems across all age groups, and being able to cross the communication barrier is very important. And there's a spin of issues between each people. But young people, I love working with younger people because they're, inverted commas, new to it. John Gottman did some research, and he said that, to paraphrase, that if somebody has a chest or a heart problem, they pick up the phone on average within the first 4 hours to do something about it. Whereas if people have an issue within their relationship, it generally takes about 7 years. And that is the fundamental here.
Right.
So if you're dealing with young people, you've got the possibility of getting it early. And the younger the people are, if you can teach them lessons on how to communicate, how to deal with issues, how to deal with their own issues, how to gift their partner behavior and improvements, then you're ahead of the game. They have those lessons for life. There are different issues for young people, and particularly people who come straight from home, because there is often that tie to the parents, and young couples often have difficulty with their partner's parents because there's still, metaphorically, an umbilical cord between them. And so that is an issue that people often struggle with, is the understanding of their partner's needs and their understanding of their partner's families and the connections and everything else.
So what common scenarios do you see? Is this the wife picks up the phone, calls for help, or how do they come to you?
Okay. Look, as an individual therapist, I'd say that 80% of my clients are female.
Females.
As couples, I'd say that it's reasonably balanced between the male and the female picking up the phone and asking for help. But in the process, I have to be frank or fair or whatever, is the men tend to struggle more with the communication.
Right.
Women in stress, as a generalization, are better communicators. Naturally, they form better communities and communicate. And men are generically more practical and are looking to be seen to be effective.
Right.
And that's...
Well, I see that a lot anyway. So men tend to bottle in the emotions rather than talk about it. It's not macho-like to discuss these issues. They don't give in. Yeah, like you said, they're bad communicators in most cases. And I see that in my job as well. He doesn't talk. Or they tend to resort to some other habits. For instance, they start to maybe drink alcohol more, or smoke more, or maybe working late, excessive hours, because they are avoiding facing the scenario at home. So such kind of things, maybe do sport or something like that. Yeah.
I think it's that every individual, whichever, comes from a story. They come from a background and what their particular story is. And there will be areas in their story that are missing. Even the best parents, even the best scenario of growing up, they will have areas that they've got holes, if you like.
Right.
And so those needs they develop strategies. And those strategies may be, some people are quiet, some people get angry, some people run away to an addiction, or people go and play sport to do this or whatever, and cope with it in very different ways.
Yes.
And when people come together, yes, there's the initial romance and everything else, but going into a relationship, fundamentally, people are looking for people to help them with their gaps, with their needs. And the more successful relationships are actually people who are from different types of backgrounds, or opposites do attract.
Right.
So the strengths in one complements the weaknesses in the other, and the strengths in the other complement the weaknesses. And when the relationship, whether it's couples or business or anything else, when is the ideal is when the strong person helps the weak person in that area, and vice versa. They help across the gap. There's a space between relationship, and it's a positive or a negative space.
That's good. So they're complementing each other.
And that's when relationships work,
Yeah.
whether it's business or with couples, is when I guess it's gifting. When you gift to your partner something that helps them in an area of their need, and they gift you, not expecting anything back. And that's the choice of the word gift. You give without expectation to get something back. Right. I will help you in this area, and this is a subconscious level.
Right.
But then you make it conscious, and this is where we work with couples to create a conscious relationship rather than a subconscious relationship. So a subconscious relationship, we make it up as we go along. It's all fantastic to start with. And then it starts to go because we're making it up. Whereas those, back to the young couples and the older couples, is when they learn how to do things and become conscious of the other person's needs and their communication style and their differences, and complement into that, then you get a conscious relationship.
Well, it's unfortunate that there's no schools or colleges for marriages.
No.
Otherwise, most people get right, is there?
It's true. I mean, there are. It's the same as lots of schools, and don't do basics about finance. Yeah. We all have to, and I believe that's changing now, and all the rest of it. But yeah, there is some common skills that would be useful across to be educated with, and listening is one of those.
One of them, yeah. And being articulate as well about your needs.
And it's truly listening rather than repeating back, if you like, and listening to understand, not listening to reply. And that's a really different emphasis. And when you can teach people to listen to understand, you go from many arguments start here, and a sigh, a look, a word, and it goes bang. And you never get to what the actual issue is. And if you truly just listen to what their needs are, the conversation gets down and down and down into the actual issue, because it's never the thing at the surface, but most times it doesn't get down. And so we teach people how to get to those stages, if you like.
So it also tends to be women are emotional. Like I said, men are physical, women are more emotional, and they want that emotional connection.
Yeah, I mean, that's a general, without question, a generalization, because there are as many men who are emotional about situations and all the rest of it. Yes, the fundamentals of humanity has grown, and we've been round for millions of years, and it's only over the later years, if you like, decades and maybe centuries, where safety has become less of an issue for many people in the first world. And safety being all that we do is about feeling safe. So all the communications, all the elements is so that both people feel safe in the relationship. And when you feel safe, then you relax. And when you relax, you're able to deal with issues as they come along, because life is about change. Stuff happens. And how we cope with that, we're going to have to cope with it. And if you're already in a stress situation, when working in stress, we are in the fight, flight or freeze, and we're in the reactive. And so we react to the situations. Whereas when we're in the relaxed state, we're in the thoughtful, the logical, and you can think through things. So if you're stressed, there is no point having a discussion.
That's right.
Because you're just reacting, and it goes from what's the best to being win, lose or run away. And it stops being about the issue it was. I've got to win is the mental thing. Or I'm just going to leave here. I don't want this discussion anymore.
Sorry, I cut you off.
No, cool.
So you coming from that neuroscience background.
Yep.
How do you think attachment at an early age affects future relationships? Childhood attachment with the parenting and
so
all
that was the thing that with the younger couples that is more of an issue than older. And that is just changing, changing those relationships, changing that emphasis of being part of the family to creating your new family, if you like, and your new relationships.
All right, Phil. So that's a very nice scenario. We're talking predominantly in the last 30 minutes or so about a young couple, and you put it nicely in terms of looking at where their brain functions and how we can apply those principles in a relationship world, also using business principles. Now, going further now, let's say we're looking at couples older age, let's say middle to older age. What appears to be the main scenarios you face or you meet or you have to deal with?
Yeah, look, people forget who they're with. And they're so used to generalization, having family, and living parallel lives and spending their times, whether it's at work or but the rest of the time dealing with the children, dealing with the children's issues, and not necessarily having any time for themselves. And a relationship can keep going as a connection, but you can lose the trust, you can lose the intimacy, you can lose the safety and just exist. And that's not a highly functioning relationship. Back to what we used, is not a conscious. You are living in an unconscious relationship where you're just making it up where you go along. And therefore, the people don't know how to spend time together. If they go out on a date, they forget how to actually talk to each other. So people may take the step. And really, helping those people is about reconnecting, with simple things. Maybe just sitting down 15 minutes each evening and talking about simple things like who's your favourite band, what's your favourite movie, simple things like that, which you've lost touch with. When you first were together, you knew who your partner's favourite this or that, and people change, and you lose touch with that. And so that's the first thing we do, is help people to reconnect, to understand, to find out about what their partner needs, what they enjoy doing, finding out their special things, and therefore, again, back to the word gifting their partner with something like that. If your favourite thing is going on a golf holiday, getting involved in a golf holiday,
Yes.
or whatever, going to the cinema, doing things, and giving that to the partner as a working thing together.
That's a very good scenario. And also gets worse. Supposing, I say, there's children in the family. They're grown up. They've left the nest. And now just the two of you. Even it gets worse. You're both retired. You're now just two of you just looking at each other, and that connection is not there. How can couples, the scaffold for the marriage is now falling apart over the years during, parenting, career, pursuance or something like that. Now suddenly you say, oh, this is my wife. We're together every day. You start to notice some of the things, some of the mannerisms you don't like. You find that the wife tends to be inbound in the kitchen, and the husband maybe is out always working in the yard or sorting out some cars or something. They are not connected. How can we help this couple? How can you help them?
Look, and it is about connecting, and it is re-understanding the goals in life. Again, like business, what's the direction? What's the way that the company? What's the couple looking for in life? Where's the next stage? What's the plans? What's the goals? What's the future? What's the understanding? And bringing that, because bringing up children, there are clear goals with that. But once they're gone, well, what would do? I come across couples who their retirement plans are completely different. One might want to live in the mountains. The other might want to live by the beach. All right, that's a location thing, but it may be a lifestyle thing. And so I've always thought that one would say, I want to have parties and I want to go out and travel. And the other might have had a busy life and wants to just relax and be quiet. And those things of understanding, they're the things in the background that people don't talk about, and it's bringing them to the foreground. It's bringing all, again, the reconnection, the re-understanding, the understanding and listening. Again, I come back to listening and helping your partner, gifting things for your partner to help them.
Yeah.
And it is harder, without question. The longer you go with habits, the harder it is to change them. However, we can all change. The brain changes. We can change ourselves. And it's incumbent on ourselves to change. I can't change you. I can't change my partner. I can't change anybody else. I can change how I deal with you. I can change how I am and how I see the world and the way. And so that's the thing that's absolutely necessary in any therapy, any counselling, is that understanding that you have to change yourself. You can't change your partner.
So introspection kind of thing.
And yes.
That's good. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Well, I love this. Yeah, we can talk forever on this one.
I believe so. You can see I'm really passionate about helping people.
No, I like the approach. I like the whole approach. It sounds like everything's boiling down to communication, right? It's boiling down.
As the first step.
Yeah.
It's the first step. Without question, we talked about briefly about the strategies that we have to deal with the things that we're weak in. And so we do need to help people with those strategies. But the first thing, without question, is a bridge. Is a bridge between people, so that there is safety. There is always the safety to be able to get across something without it exploding, without people running away, without going into stress. And if you can communicate safely and in a non-stressed fashion, you can work through it logically and then get to the issues. that need to be dealt with.
Yeah, so everything else will possibly fall into place. It could be financial issues, infidelities, or
without
intimacy, all those things. They'll fall into place if it's built up on the communication part of it. I think it's a very good
because you
principle.
can then talk about and find out why there is cheating, or why there is intimacy, or why there is things from their point of view.
Yes.
Why are they doing these things? Because their strategies, those things are running away strategies. They're strategies to cope with something they're not getting in the relationship. They're not getting something, whatever it is, whether it's intimacy, whether it's communication, whether it's stability, trust, or whatever. They will have a strategy to cope with that. And so if you solve these issues, then you can change those strategies, and you don't need those strategies.
Yeah, I suppose the communication involves maybe making non-judgmental conclusions.
Without question.
Yeah, because otherwise you get a defense. You get defense.
Without question. So instead of being negative about something, but things happen. And it's difficult at times but if you can be curious about what is happening with the other person rather than negative about the other person. But yes, going towards a zero negativity and replacing that with curiosity, you then are able to understand. And one of the nice things is also teach, and I taught the children as they were growing up on their way to the school in the morning, is positive affirmations. We would have every morning 3 positives, 3 affirmations, 3 gratefuls.
Yes.
And we would do it every morning. They'd be grateful. They could be grateful for anything. And if you do that in your relationship and you look for, what am I grateful for? What is it good that you do or are a compliment or whatever? And if you can bring that positive affirmations in, you've got the building of trust. You've got the building of appreciation from the other. And again, it's about gifting. It's about giving to your partner in where they need, and they in turn will give back. And if they don't, it's not every couple. The first thing I say with couples is that I'm not here for you to walk out of here hand in hand. My job is to teach you how to deal with things, teach you how to communicate, teach you all these things so that, and you put into it, so that in your relationships with everybody, they're stronger. It may be that this other person isn't right for you for whatever reason, but you won't go from relationship to relationship to relationship. And that happens. People go and make the same mistakes time and time and time again because they're following the same system that they've always had. And yeah.
That's very good. I like that. All right. Well, we appreciate you coming to the show, Phil.
Thank you.
We thank you for what you're doing. And Phil is available. We got the details at the end of the video. He's contactable via the website. And not only do you do therapy face-to-face, you can also do like Zoom and Skype. Can you do that?
That's right. Yeah. I mean, I prefer it to be face-to-face without question, because body language is important.
Yes, it is.
However, Zoom and everything else is
right.
the modern world.
Yeah, that's good. Thank you for what you do and for the time to come to the show. And everybody else, thank you so much for joining us. I hope you picked up 1 or 2 things. There's no one head fits all. It's all about communication. Whoever initiates the communication, it doesn't matter. You just have to bite the bullet, be the icebreaker yourself. So you keep safe wherever you are, and keep well, and God bless you. Bye-bye for now.